Well, good day. It's me again, Wayne Woods. Today is June the 10th, 2024, and maybe some wise words. When you're negotiating, whether you're listening to direction or not, or what you should be doing, or discussing it as a group in the station or on the work floor, whatever you agree to now is going to be yours for one hell of a long time. Because things that we lost after my retirement or prior to my retirement, if there was things that was lost, different services and stuff, you'll never get them back. You might think, well, I'll take it now, and then next negotiations we'll get it back. Well, you're not going to get it back. They make sure of that. So anyhow, you have to think of what you have now is because of hard fights and strikes and money loss and everything from people prior to you. And it was right up to about, if I can remember the year, probably when it started going down the crapper was probably 2011, 2012, where they were giving away our WCB 100% and the sick benefits that we got, which were wonderful, beautiful benefits. All that stuff, the defined pension, all that stuff was gone. I voted for the strike. People wanted to take it, and the majority spoke. They said, well, I never had one where I worked, so I'm not too concerned about it. That's where the problem comes in. Whatever you're fighting for now, you'll remember that until you retire at the post office, because you fought for it. All the stuff you had prior to starting to give stuff away, that stuff was precious to someone who negotiated it, and like maternity leave and all this stuff that you've benefited from was all fought for. So for some people, it's just, oh, well, it's just a benefit. It's not. And when you fight for it, you have ownership of it. So sometimes you criticize the older postal workers and say, oh, they're living in the past. Well, you know what? We fought to get that. So that's precious to me, whatever it is. We fought to keep private vehicles out of this whole mess because of the unemployment of taxis, taxi drivers. It was just there's a whole bunch of things. You do one thing and it tumbles like dominoes. So there was a lot of things that we tried to keep out. But if that's what you want, if you want to use your vehicle and you all these things they've been offered, then you may do that. That's what you negotiated. I wasn't. I'm not there anymore. You negotiated it. So that's your ownership. Whatever way you went on that, I don't know. So that's where this becomes a problem. You might be in your 20s or 30s now, and because I was in a good, tough local, they said to me, watch out when we're negotiating, because that stuff will disappear if we don't fight for it. And that's what I was taught. But some places think, oh, well, that's okay. I'll think about it down the road. Okay, so now you're 20, 30, in the 30s, somewhere there. So do you think, here's the question to you. Do you think you can't even carry on now? Everybody is complaining about the weight, the hardships, the harassment. Do you think you could take that till when I retired, I was 62. I had to pay up my pension. So personally, I didn't have to. I could have left. But it's, let's see, can you do that at 60? You can't do it now. You're complaining about it. So you've got if you're 20, you got another 40 years to go of it. Good luck. So that's the problem. It's almost like the difference between playing checkers and playing chess. Canada Post always says, how do we leapfrog to what we really want? And that's the same thing about the 3-day work week. Yeah, pie in the sky, yeah, 12-hour days and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but we get overtime after 8 hours. So if you're off leave without pay and you come back on a Monday and there's extra work and you put in overtime, you get paid. You don't have to wait till you accumulated 40-hour week. They don't subtract your sick time or your unpaid sick time off of your overtime. So this stuff you got to think about, because you got to deal with this when you get older, as your body runs down, because now a lot of people are running. I don't know why they are, but they're out there running like rabbits. I see them in my own neighborhood, Nanaimo and Ladysmith. You see them around. They're running. And I don't know where they're going when they're running, because they're getting older as they're running and they're getting sicker as they get older. So the whole thing is to preserve your body, preserve your job, so that you can still do it as you get into the the older generation of years. So you think, well, I can just go in as a clerk if I'm a carrier. Clerks don't want to do carrier anymore. I don't think they were too hyped up on it anyways. But carriers say, well, I can injure myself and then I can go do an office job, or I can be a supervisor, or I can be whatever. Those parties are over, my friend. When you're what you're doing is you're going to you're deliberately, people are telling you're hurting yourself, and you still continue. So you go after a clerk's job that's the vacant one, and instead of hiring locally or whatever, you go in there, and then some new guy off the street attempts says, oh good, I got a full-time job, and then he finds out what it is. So you got to be careful when you negotiate, because whatever you do now lasts a long time. And once they take something away from you, you let them take it away, you're not going to get it back. Did you get back your sick time? Because most people that didn't take sick time just in case they got sick when they were older my wife had $90,000. There's people with nothing to have $30,000, $40,000 in sick time, and they weren't going to pay it out, but it was there if you needed it when you needed it when you were off. So you didn't have to go on to these stupid long-term disability things, a bunch of crap like that. And then of course there's the ever so popular, sick. 15 days of miscellaneous time or whatever it's called. You can take time off anytime you want. Oh, not that day, not that day, not that day. How about a Wednesday, 2 weeks from now? That's what it's turned into. So they lie to you, they manipulate you, and you just keep coming back for more. So you got to stop that, for one thing. Have a group discussion, talk amongst yourselves. That's the thing. And be nicer to each other, if that's the way it goes. What earth is behind me here? Oh. That looks terrible. It's my gay pride flag for Ladysmith. It was from the gay pride parade in downtown, which was very successful. Anyhow, so if this is what the thing, well, we'll just take that and get it later. No, you're not. So that's what I'm saying now. Think about what you're doing, and with these people that are working for you, negotiating, and they work hard. You say, oh, what are they doing? Well, I'll tell you, been there. They work hard, and they have seen what the future holds, because they've seen it over and over again as people give up things. And you got to think of the positive things that are out there. All the things that were negotiated and that we had that you've enjoyed are disappearing, and not because the post office is taking them, is because you're allowing them to take them. So we never went without a fight, even if I lost a month's pay. Even when I was fired in 1987 for a strike at Canada Post, nasty letter carrier strike, I was fired, lost a lot of money, lost a lot of pension. I did it for you. I didn't do it for me. I already had a job. I could have just stayed on the job and put my nose to the ground and moved on. But I was there at that time. I was a union rep, and union reps work for you. They don't get in there for their selfish means. They work for you. It's almost like a calling, a religious calling. You want to go and help people with problems, help people with disabilities, general overall help. So I was fired. I'm back. I fought that. I could have just as easily walked away from it, but I didn't. So this is, it's awful. You're kind of, as I said, the two doors, damned if you do and damned if you don't. But you've got to go with call meetings. Get your local to call a meeting, and you can all have a discussion over how it's going with negotiations. You've got to get involved. You just can't run your whole time right now on because everyone's so busy. They're running in and running out, and they don't want to listen to anything. They don't want to read the bulletin boards. So I mean, they're getting their information on rumors from the boss. You know how those work out. Not very good. So you've got to be in touch with your local and be in touch with your regional. Just understand what's going on. Don't get it by osmosis where someone's going to say, oh, yeah, I heard Joe went to a meeting and he told me that this happened and this happened and this happened. And then he told someone else and they told me. No, go yourself, read the bulletins, because this is something that's going to stay with you. And at some point, it's going to be so bad, you're going to quit the job. And what happened right up till about, I think it was when they changed their strategy on ignoring everything that people did in the way of shortcuts and then used them against you. They knew what you were doing, and so then they said, okay, they all want that. And that's how they took things away from you. So right up to that point, everything was moving along pretty good, actually. And we were fighting that. But then along came a whole group, whether it's good or bad. When every time a negotiation came up, they, oh, I never had that where I worked, so I'm not going to miss it. Oh, I never had that when I worked, I'm not going to miss it. I never had the comp time, or I never had this time or that time. Oh, who cares? Now you care, because you're saying, what the hell have I done? So sorry to ramble on again, but yeah, get informed. As a you're the first person. Go to the bulletin board. Don't listen to someone who's read the bulletins and given you their own synopsis of what it's about, because it's a lot more complicated. And go online. There's all kinds of negotiation update. I'm retired and I can read them. Why can't you take 5 minutes out of your life in an evening? So anyhow, keep plugging away, and remember, what you're doing now is going to stick with you until you retire. And Canada Post doesn't give back, so you better be creative. And have a nice day, and thanks again for all the wonderful friends and union reps I've been involved with in Cup W and LCUC back when I had lots of people that I worked with. Thank you very much, and thank you for looking after my pension that I'm getting right now. Absolutely unbelievable. You have a nice day, and good luck again. Bye-bye.